Picture this scenario. It's the mid-2010s. The mobile handset era was now evolving into the smartphone era. Nokia 3310s and Motorola flip phones that were the order of the day were gradually being replaced by Blackberries, which were in turn gradually replaced by Apple's iPhones and the open-sourced Android device, which later became a Google proprietary. Now in this era, gaming was at an all-time peak, mobile gaming inclusive. Angry Birds, Temple Run, Clash of Clans, Subway Surfers, Candy Crush. The 2010s for mobile gaming was such a time to be alive. Football games in general were also in the golden age during this time period as well. EA was delivering banger after banger of FIFA titles during this period on all App Store fronts. Konami, on the other hand, weren't firing yearly titles on mobile like they did on their console counterparts. But anytime that Konami released a mobile entry, it's rarely missed the mark. First Touch Games was now finding its feet in the space with its Dream League soccer game, the first being a viral smash hit and then later spawning an entire franchise. All these three in the mobile gaming sphere were classified as the big three of the footy empire, heading into the 2020s. But before First Touch Games even came to the fray, before Konami started piling their franchise on its yearly cycle from late 2016, there was another challenger. A game franchise that at some point will even earn the title of FIFA Killer on mobile devices. Before the era of FIFA, now FC, PES, now eFootball, and Dream League Soccer, there was the era of FIFA, PES, and Real Football. Yes, this franchise long has been in the memory of many childhoods, often competing with EA's own flagship title toe for toe and leaving Konami in the dust. Gameloft was cooking with this franchise back in the day, and it was making a name for the French studio. But what happened? How did such an iconic and legendary franchise that even earned the FIFA killer name fall from grace in the mobile gaming sphere? This is how a legendary mobile gaming franchise rose through the ranks from its humble beginnings to find itself at a peak before falling into an entire decline. Founded on the 14th of December 1999 by Michel Guillemot, who was also the co-founder of Ubisoft, Gameloft's core mantra was simple: to perfect the art of fun by creating games for every kind of player, as stated on their About page on the Google Play Store, for which they've been doing for more than 20 years. How was this achieved? Through their well-known winning formula, taking inspiration from the big console titles and then adding your own spin to it before porting it over to mobile. And it's worked wonders for the French studio. Need Halo on the go? Try out Nova. What about something fast-paced like Need for Speed or Burnout? No worries, Asphalt will serve you up. Craving for a cinematic shooter experience on mobile like Call of Duty? No worries, Modern Combat has got you covered. GTA? How about Gangster for size? Gran Turismo or Forza? Here's GT Racing. SimCity? What about Little Big City? You kind of see where I'm heading with this. Gameloft made a name for themselves with this formula, and in the mobile gaming sphere they quickly outpaced and outclassed the likes of Blue, Nokia Games, and even EA Mobile at a point. All this to say though, it did come with its fair share of criticism, as Gameloft had often been classified as the king of mobile game clones. Michel Guillemot refuted these claims and addressed them by saying, unquote, "Video game industry has always played around a limited number of themes. There is maybe one new idea every year." Real Football was another brainchild of Gameloft, with its first iteration released on the 19th of August 2004 on mobile handsets running on Java at the time. 2004 Real Football began the series. It had only a few national teams to select from, as well as only 3 game modes: Exhibition, International Cup, which was based on the 2002 World Cup, and the European Cup, which was based on the Euros of 2004. It was also the first game to include the FIFA Pro license, meaning all real player names and likenesses were included. It scored 73 out of 100 from German news outlet Air Gamer. It may have not been a smash hit, but at least it was a decent start. Gameloft will improve the formula in later entries with new game modes, improved graphics, and additional teams. 2005's Real Football saw the introduction of leagues, more cups, clubs such as Chelsea, Liverpool and Milan, training, and a minigame mode where you could play as a naked pitch invader. Interesting. 2006's entry saw 2 versions being released, albeit for the same Java system. The 3D version getting released on Symbian devices as well. It also featured a Go for 2006 mode where you try to qualify for one of the 48 teams to the 2006 World Cup. Entries for 2007, 2008 and 2009 will continue the trend, with more game modes, improved graphics and gameplay, enhanced features and additional licensing. For instance, RF 2007 saw the introduction of skill moves, RF 2008 saw the Euro 2008 game mode, and RF 2009 saw licensed stadiums and multiplayer through Bluetooth for the very first time. By 2009, the franchise began to pick up speed. Real Football 2009 was the first mainstream breakthrough, as it was released not just for handsets, but for iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Symbian, and the Nintendo DS. It scored a 90% rating from mobilegamer.cz. This era of 2004 to 2009 is what I'd like to refer to as the humble beginning era. At this point in time, the Real Football franchise had become sort of a trend among mobile football game enthusiasts. 2009's Real Football 2010 being no different to the times. Polished controls, all new 3D graphics, 2 new game modes, Enter the Legend, which was similar to Player Career, and Club Master, which is basically manager mode. Improved online play, as well as more licensing. Real Football 2010 was a smash hit, with 15 million downloads on the iOS App Store, garnering rave reviews on all platforms, excluding Android, which scored a mere 40% on Pocket Gamer. That's disappointing. Real Football 2011 improved on Real Football 2010's legacy, introducing motion capture and upgraded visuals. Gameloft were flying high at this point. By the time Real Football 2012 rolled around, Gameloft blew everyone away. This was the franchise at its peak. So much so that I had 5 million downloads on Google Play compared to the 50,000 downloads by EA's FIFA 12. Well, since Real Football 2012 was free and FIFA 12 was paid, well, you could see that. 250 teams, 14 leagues, insane graphics for a 2012 mobile game. It was everything Gameloft had scored. An absolute screamer with this one. But they weren't done yet. Real Football 2013 was released on the 8th of October 2012, and it's the game's changing direction from a fully fledged, complete package to a career mode plus ultimate team hybrid. The game still delivered, surpassing Gameloft's expectations. Sure, critics weren't huge fans of the unexpected shift, but it was still enjoyed by the masses nonetheless. The 4.4 star rating of the Google Play Store proving such. With that, the hype for the next Real Football entry was underway. Many expectations were over and beyond. The usual suspects: improved graphics, new game modes, improved gameplay, more licenses, and a move away from the Ultimate Team focus to a fully fledged title. Ambitions were high, but no one saw the bombshell that was about to hit and changed the franchise entirely as we knew it. On the 5th of September 2013, Real Football 2014 released. And to say that the game was a massive downgrade was a huge understatement. Gameloft downscaled everything. Graphics were cartoonish. Controls were dumbed down. There was no iOS release. Player and team names became fake as the FIFA Pro license was lost. It was also not free to play like the other entries. Gameloft had ditched the Play Store in favor of their own marketplace at a premium price. True, fan favorite game modes like Enter the Legend returned, but it did nothing to appease the fan base who were baffled and rightly angered. This sadly marked the beginning of the end, as future RF releases would follow this trend of being dumbed down to appeal to casual players instead of the hardcore Real Football fan base that had been curated. RF 2015, same. RF 2016, same. RF 2017, it may have returned to the Play Store with some improvements and a soft reboot, but nothing of the old gold standard. From 2018 onwards, the Real Football 2018 game returned to the Gameloft marketplace as a premium title until the franchise's final entry, Real Football 2022, which was released in November of 2021. It was over. Gameloft had conceded a late winner. But where did everything go wrong? Why did such an iconic franchise that made millions of childhoods come to such an agonizing fate? In actual fact, the answer is not clear. Gameloft has never come out to explain what really went wrong. However, there are some few theories and explanations that could help explain why such a turn of events had happened. First off, the player base and the revenues dynamics. The audience of the late 2000s to early 2010s just wasn't the target anymore. With a declining player base as well as lack of revenue options, as ads and in-app purchases weren't doing Gameloft any favors, especially in the late 2010s, Gameloft had to pull the plug gradually from the franchise. So reason number 2, the Vivendi takeover. What many feel is the root cause of all Gameloft's problems: the sad decline and loss of trust. The Vivendi takeover. In late 2016, Vivendi had acquired a 96% stake in the company. Michel Guillemot, the founder and CEO, was forced to resign. Gameloft was struggling financially at that point in time, and Vivendi's takeover seemed to have saved the company from going bankrupt. But it came with drastic changes, as we'll see in the next points. Reason number 3, a shift in focus. With Vivendi's new policies, Gameloft's philosophy in mobile first gradually changed. Console and PC releases seemed to be Gameloft's new point of attention, with the stats showing. In the first half of 2023, they landed 139 million euros, a 60% increase from the same time frame in 2022, with PC and console markets equating up to 37%. Reason number 4, a shift in player base. It seemed with Gameloft's latter entries into the franchise, Gameloft focused more on bringing casual players into the fray, but in the process, lost their hardcore player base. And reason number 5, the current state of gaming. With studio closures, layoffs, budget cuts, and many other issues plaguing the video game industry as a whole for the past couple of years, and with Gameloft being a victim of such, multiple in-house Gameloft studios have been shut, and where there have been more layoffs than smash hits, Gameloft have seemingly pulled the plug on some of its legendary franchises: Iron Blade, Modern Combat, GT Racing, Nova, all examples. And with the issue of hiring professional footballers as ambassadors and cover stars, as well as the acquisition of FIFA Pro licenses and other deals taking a toll on Gameloft's finances with little returns in revenue from the player base, it was clear that sooner or later, Gameloft would take the budget route. In conclusion, the Real Football franchise has been the childhoods of many, myself included. It's sad to see how the franchise has seemingly crashed to its death with little to no hope of a revival. It's looking very unlikely that the franchise will return, and with the above reasons stated justifying that fact. Even if they do decide to bring the franchise back, with Gameloft pulling shock returns for Gangster with Gangster New York and Dungeon Hunter with Dungeon Hunter 6, it may not be the same as it used to. And besides, with more prominent and reputable companies entering the mobile gaming landscape, and with other companies raising the bar, the potential RF return remains to be a dream transfer that sadly gets rejected at the negotiation stage.